Good morning, Adam. How are you today?
I'm great. How you doing, Cory?
I'm good. I'm good. This is the first early morning interview I think we've done this year. So getting out of the bed bright and early, and moving the 11-year-old over. So he's a
Meet the
lot.
morning man. I'm a
Yeah.
morning person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. I used to be a morning person, and then I realized that once when the then babies would go to sleep, it's a lot easier to get some stuff done at night, and there's a couple extra hours in the night. So. I used to get my work done that way, and I just haven't been able to balance it since. But
I
I'm
just don't
sure.
sleep a lot. That's really the secret.
Yeah, I'm actually working on adding an extra hour to the day, so getting us all to 25 hours to see if that helps. But I haven't
That's
had any luck yet.
that's the Antarctica research that's going on down there.
Yeah, yeah, totally. That's what we're doing down there. Trying to add an extra hour to the day to make it all work. So
That'd be great.
that'd be great. Just take a break. But no, so we're gonna do things a little different today. So if for those following at home, Adam has been part of the Fantasy Couriers and still is part of the Fantasy Couriers, very much so, and is representing the league for last year as a Fantasy Couriers, being a Division 4 winner. This year's a little different. So JJ Wang is going to pick up the mantle, so to speak. Not necessarily the belt, but he's going to pick up the mantle and defend the Courier's honor in Division 4 because Adam is going to represent Men's Alliance in Division 2. So we get to learn a little bit more about what Men's Alliance is doing today and a little bit of their origin story and how Adam kind of fits into that. And I think it's going to be a great conversation. So, Adam, good morning. Good morning.
Morning, morning.
And welcome again to the league. So, it's a solo adventure now. So now we have to figure out which one of you two is actually good at fantasy football between you and JJ Wang. So,
Well, I'm looking at the divisions. I'm already throwing the towel in on that one. I don't know anybody in the other division. I know a lot of people in this division, and I'm a little worried here.
yeah, I was talking to our just now announced our co-host, which is Susan, and she was also not eager to find out that you guys are playing each other in the same division this year. So
He
it'll
doesn't
be
know Jock
interesting to
either.
see. And Jock, yeah. It'll be a fun one to watch for sure, and I'm sure some of the newer teams will throw a nice wild card into that as well. So you have technically already relinquished the belt. You just don't know it yet, and so we'll see if you can steal Jock's trophy from him. So
I'm
that
gonna
would
I'm gonna go pose with it in a few weeks. I'm going to his house, so I'll say, "Hey, look, as the goal is, I want to save you on shipping. I'm trying to
yeah.
help for
See,
his bottom line. I can go pick it up. He lives
no, you
20.
can't say that because if that happens now, people are gonna be like, oh, it's rigged because he doesn't want to pay $20 for shipping or whatever it is, and
Well, then they'll hear about my charity and know that it's not true,
yeah,
or,
that's
or
true.
what? I guess it's 401c nonprofit.
And so yeah, it'll be fun. And I still have to. It's sitting. It's literally sitting in my cart. I need to send the new topper to that trophy that broke in shipping. So I gotta get that replaced. But hopefully you'll take pictures with a full trophy and not pieces of a trophy. So
Yeah,
um,
if you can get it there by Labor Day, we'll have a picture of the two of us together.
it'll be done. I will get it done. So yeah,
Well, you
that's
have to,
it.
I guess.
Yeah.
You got 3 days of this recording.
So yeah, I am beyond out of time at this point. So I'm trying to get it all done, stuffing stuff in the suitcase and see how much it weighs and yeah, make sure it fits. But fun times. So, but
Jackets.
so
You got to put all those jackets in there. That's like one suitcase.
yeah, so I pick up all that stuff down the road as I start to leave. So luckily I don't have to bring it from Chicago. They'll give it to me en route. Um, but the baggage things are weird. So like you have to fit a certain amount of weight into your actual suitcases, but then you get these big winter coats that you have to wear, and so they only count the weight from the bags, and so
Oh,
people stuff the shampoo bottles in their coats so that they can make weight better. But yeah, a bunch of people are taking that flight with shampoo bottles in their pockets so that they can fit everything they want to bring.
is there a store down there? I just thought about that. If they're
Um,
if you need shampoo for the next couple months, do you got a
yeah,
Amazon guy brings it across the ocean?
so if you don't, if I haven't shipped it yet, it won't be there until at least October. And if it doesn't make it by October, it's not making it till February. So hopefully you planned enough and done enough. But yes, there is a very small store on McMurdo Station. So when I pass through there, there's they said there's a couple of shampoo options, like toiletry options. They're not like, you know, world class,
Well, they're twice the price, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. And then
But in Alaska, it's the same thing. Like milk is like a gajillion dollars because you gotta until you pay the imports,
import
like
it. Yep.
flying the airplane gas.
And I'm sure it's like, and I've never been particular on my soaps. So like it's like if I can get one bottle that's shampoo, body wash, conditioner, and does my taxes or something for me all in one, like I'll just do one bottle. So
The beard's changed a little bit, and my hair is now that I grew hair. Like I haven't had hair till the last couple of years, and it's like down past my shoulders. So
that I haven't actually figured out. I don't know if they do haircuts or anything down there. So I'm gonna get
children's
rid
scissor.
of, yeah, I'm gonna get rid of most of it and then just see how far it gets. So
Oh, that'll be cool.
be a good time. I mean, it's cold, so more hair is warmer. So
We'll do a Super Bowl show. This is like right before, and then see what you look like right as you come back in. This is the after, like hair coming out. You probably have a big fro or something. That'd be awesome.
probably. Look, I have a big colic, and my son has a colic too, like right here. So if I like too short, it looks like I'm going bald, but I'm not because we have good genetics. But yeah, if I go long, then I don't actually know how far. 'Cause, with the military, I've never really had like the long hair, so it'd be interesting to see.
Oh,
But
so you didn't let it grow when you came out. Most of my buddies, like the first thing, beard, obviously, and
beard.
they didn't touch it. Like I'm gonna see what I can do.
Yeah, I did the beard. That was almost like a given. And then yeah, I never really messed with the hair. I mean, I skipped like one rotation of haircuts kind of thing. That's about it.
I used to shave my head because it was like basic cuts are so expensive. So before this, I mean, I've gotten one haircut in the last calendar year, and that was just, and I haven't even touched. I should get one now, but before I had clippers and my head was shaved because
Nice.
it was $18 one time because I
Yeah.
bought the clippers. I takes care of it. And I do my own beard, so that's why it's all crazy.
Yeah, I got it cleaned up, but I don't know how the whole like I usually put like beard wash and stuff in there, but
I just ordered some. My wife lets me. That's the only expensive like body product I buy. So I just ordered some recently, and it's root beer flavored. So I was like, ooh, root
nice.
beer flavored beard wash.
It's a gift for you and her, you know?
Yeah, you get to smell root beer.
So I love it. But yeah, let's talk Men's Alliance. So I know a little bit just in passing from our conversations over the last 2 years or so, but give us a rundown of what Men's Alliance is and then how you're involved.
So Men's Alliance was a. It's a gosh, I've been trying over the last year to figure out how to start it. So essentially, it started because if anybody who does anything within the church knows that men are the absolute hardest group of human beings to get involved in church. Women, if you have an event, there's a bajillion women, and then a couple guys get drugged there, and they're standing in the back looking all grumpy, not wanting to do that. And I grew up in the church, and I could sit in a small group of dudes and have a conversation and whatnot. But a lot of guys don't get involved because generally you're not going to get a guy wanting to sit in a circle and talk his feelings and sit there for a while. But guys, the way we do things more is we connect by doing.
Hmm.
We connect by like shoulder to shoulder doing things. Like in our video, we're sitting here, we're doing something. We're not sitting here going, hey Adam, how are you doing? It's we're doing it for a cause. We're doing it for a reason. It's almost like we need purpose for what we're doing as opposed to like a well, there's a bigger purpose, obviously, if I'm doing it for faith, but you need a almost like movement, even as guys. And go, who are the kids in school driving me nuts? Are little boys running around? So my buddy Dave, he could in men's language we have call signs, so you hear me say Goose a lot. Dave Mills started about 8 years ago at his church. Like we just need a new kind of ministry. He just came out of the Air Force, and he was just looking for something in his church. So he said, let's start something where we're having men be men. And the idea being that we aren't sitting in like some room or somebody's living room, sitting around a circle, but it's outdoors. The fire in the background on this side, my screen's married. The fire in the background is because he's like, let's put a campfire outside. Okay. He's like, for the Bible study, instead of just sitting in a circle kumbayaing, which is it's all good and great for a lot of people, let's do a 30-minute workout. And it's going to be 30 minutes outside, rain, snow, sleet, hail. It doesn't matter. He said the first week he did it, it was raining.
Oh,
So it was
geez.
a 30-minute workout. And the idea of the workout is that people if we come into doing something just fresh, we're not as vulnerable. We're not as open for a conversation that gets deep, that takes you a little deeper.
Yeah.
So, because after the 30-minute workout, there's a 30-minute real world devotion. So we'll sit around and the guy will just read a couple of passages of scripture. He'll tell a story about life, and then we have a conversation. And most men won't open up if it's like, hey, we're showing up at Mission Barbecue, we get some food, gonna chow down, blah, blah, blah. We might talk a little bit. Ends up being like, football, a movie, something, something super superficial or something simple that we still like. Hey, I
Yeah.
can talk about, but the idea of the workout is it gets you in that point where you're open. And I've seen just amazing conversations happen. So Dave started that 8 years ago. And it took a couple years, really. He was just doing this at his church. He's like, hey, he never thought this would happen. He never thought I'd be doing this right now. Like, he's like, I just did it. And then another guy started a group, and then it grew. And then within 4 years, there were only like 5 or 6 tribes, something like that. My church joined on in 2023. So that's from today, 2 years ago. So he's about 6 years in. We were group number 31, and the group's
Wow.
called Tribes. It says Tribal Rugged Real on there. It's the motto, but group's called Tribe. We were tribe number 31. And
Wow.
that's within 6 years. But that year is when there was a giant boom. It's like I know a bunch of tribes that opened that year. So from the handful before to this group, we were tribe 31. And when that happened, my buddy, I was at a church conference in Lynchburg, Virginia, and my buddy saw Dave and a bunch of other guys up on the stage. He goes, "That's something our church should do." I looked at him. I said, I said, "I'll pray for you." Thinking in my head, that's stupid. I'm not doing any of this garbo. Getting up in the morning, working out in the rain around a fire. That's just ridiculous. And then about a month later, we were doing a men's breakfast. I was doing men's ministry. My wife's like, you should check it out. You're not leading it. I was like, "Huh, okay." So I go on, and as of now, I'm within a year of that. I was involved. I was the Devo chief for the groups. I was like connecting all the guys who were leading the Devos. I went through some other processes, and currently I started my own tribe a year and a half later. So our church now has 3 tribes going on.
Wow.
I'm a regional leader, so I connect with other groups in the Northern Virginia region that are leading tribes, help those guys however I can, and I mean, I could go on for hours, and I feel like I'm losing even the awesomeness of it. So we get there every week, rain, snow, sleet, hail. But currently, we are at tribe 302. two
Holy
years
cow.
and a month later, like it is, there has been an explosion. Like men, we're finding guys, and at our church, it's been cool because we're finding. Usually, you think you're gonna get these big beefcake guys, and that's what started out initially. Except for me, like I've never. I usually ran to be less fat in life. And that's what I would always say. Like during COVID, I ran every day, but I also ate M&Ms for breakfast, and I came out square.
Okay. All
I was
right.
still overweight a lot, but came out square. Then I started to lose some weight. Then I got into this, and I do like body weight stuff now. Like I've never done that before. I have like kettlebells, and I, I have sledgehammers. Like the idea is like there's sledgehammers in the logo because the Bible verse is Proverbs 27:17 is iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. So one of those, the one on the, if you're looking at your screen, the one on your left, I guess, that with the point that's used for like making swords, and it's used for molding. And so
Hmm.
the idea is we do outdoor sledgehammer, like hitting on tires. My buddy brought me a tire, so I got a tire at my house,
Oh,
battle, just anything
nice.
you can do outside. And I enjoyed that. I was never a gym rat. Like I hated going to the gym, but now I work out because I can go outside. I can roll around in the grass. I can make up something. I use my van to do like dips on the back of or push outs on the grass or just crazy wild stuff like that. But it's
That's
for
cool.
me, it's been a body changing, and I've actually learned a lot about my faith, and that's the start, I guess.
Sure. There's a lot to dig in, right? Because I've heard the concept and I didn't know that it expanded that fast. That's amazing. So I guess let's start there is, 2 years ish, maybe two and a half. Why do you think that there's such an explosion in like a demand for something like this compared to maybe what they would have been doing previously?
There's lots going on. Like I've seen you hear a lot of people saying that in the country, faith, it's going up and down. Like it falls more upon Protestant non-denom more so, and it's. But I think there has been sort of a revival I see a lot more people open to speak about their faith. Um, but men especially, like we're searching for something in general, whether you're a Christian, a non-Christian, wherever you are, men want to be, whether we say it or not, want to be around other people. One of my favorite shirts, and it wouldn't work for the podcast, but on the back it's got an arrowhead, and it says isolation is terminal. The highest suicide rate of people in America is men ages like 30 to 40.
Oh,
And it's because we're alone, we're isolated. So looking to be like you look at like old guys, they get into like the legionnaires, the lodges or whatnot. You have like some guys that become masons. You know, I was in a fraternity when I was younger. It's because we want to have that camaraderie, and when
right.
we're alone, that's when like our minds spiral. We do stupid things, or we're just sad, or you know, we don't realize it. And I didn't realize how lonely I really was because the one of the biggest things I got from this is I have friends now. My wife and I would joke, and I didn't realize how serious that joke really was. Like I never thought of like taking my life around, but I was just lonely. Like I didn't have anybody I could like. I got a buddy that I could call up if I one of the things to say if it's 3 in the morning, you're not in town. Who is there a guy you could call knowing your wife is in her bathrobe walking around the house, knowing that he would come fix whatever's broken in your house, and you would be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
And that's it's one of the things that's created. And I think it's just guys want that, guys desire that, and then once you find it, I always tell guys when you come, hey, be careful. You're gonna want to keep coming back. And I've had a guy I talked to for years, like, dude, thanks for keeping on asking me because there's so many like areas of growth. Like it's free therapy,
Yeah.
it's
It really
a free
is.
workout. And as I'm trying to like one thing I want to send out to other churches in Northern Virginia is it's literally free. Well, I talked to a guy in Philadelphia about it, and he's like, "Well, what's the cost?" I said, "Nothing." I said, "Really, you need a human being, a fire pit, and dudes. Like, it's what makes it simple."
Yeah, I think that's something that's, not even just faith wise, although there is definitely a resurgence, it seems, post that nasty pandemic thing that happened a while ago. I think there's definitely a resurgence in people looking for that spiritual pillar to be filled, whether it's direct faith or whatever that may be. And I completely agree that there's that men need something to look at and towards to kind of feel full. And you see that all over the place, right? Whether it's love him or hate him, you've got the Andrew Tates out there, but he's putting out a message for young men to follow and kind of not exactly follow him directly, but he's inspiring them to be men. And you also have people like Jordan Peterson, who's also working on like foster, like take care of the things at home first, so that you can be the strong man in the times of need and those things like that. So I think there's definitely a demand for stuff like that in the world, and it's great to see that that's being done, on a local level and in the like just a small community level too, because that's where the real change happens.
Oh yeah.
You might see like the Jordan Petersons of the world, they're talking to a million people on YouTube at a time. But that's great. But when you turn off the phone, that community is not there. And so doing the community stuff that you guys are, you're building that foundational grassroots kind of change that will build a lasting impact on the people around you. So, and yeah, I totally get, it is lonely being adult male sometimes. I live in Chicago. I've moved quite a bit, from military career and all around, and I don't have very many friends. I have, not to be call myself out, but like, I have zero friends in a 10-mile radius. That's not like immediate family kind of thing. So I get it. So
And it's funny, and it's funny how that's merged with the Fantasy football world. Like that's because I mean I'm doing all sorts of stuff here, from the Tuesday, Thursday shows to as the Couriers. But that's how I stayed connected for all the years. Is Fantasy football was part of it, and I'm sort of this year merging some of it together, which is just to find some way to be connected. I got a buddy in Alaska I've talked about who that's how we keep in touch. Really, is we're
yeah.
state and fantasy league. So it's about that connectedness that we want, however we find it.
So, and it's good. And it's something that we're trying to do here in a different kind of way, but we're trying to build that community of good people doing good things. And, if nothing else, you can have some fun with some folks and not have to worry about geographically being separated or, maybe you're a little worried about if you're going to beat them this week, but still have some fun in a community that's long lasting and it's doing good things out in the world. So I commend your group for doing what you're doing, and I'm a little jealous that I don't get to partake. So
Well,
I co
you can start traveling in Alaska. There you go, out in the snow. There's a group in Antarctica. There's a group in Alaska. And there's a group in Hungary, and it's growing over. But you can
yeah,
start.
I don't know if we have sledgehammers down there. I know they have
There's one in a
tires.
prison. There's one in a prison, and they don't have sledgehammers. Like they don't have a fire. They just do. But they're it's went in a prison ministry. I've met some of the guys that have come out. And it's awesome seeing
Yeah,
those.
and I've done a lot of work for another company that tries to serve the prison community. So I definitely think that would be a great place for a community like that to come together and start working forward towards better outcomes. So
Yeah, it went in, and then the guys that are out have started to tribe outwards. And there's a Jelly Roll concert about a year and a half ago where he was able to get guys that got to come out of prison for like an hour.
I saw
One of the guys
that.
singing was wearing one of our shirts, so
Oh,
he was
really?
the
Oh, I didn't
group
know that.
and
I
had
definitely
video.
saw it.
I
So
think he was running Jelly, but he was one of our guys. Yeah, so it's really awesome.
very cool. Yeah, I'll go check that out again. So I did see that concert. Jelly Rolls, trying to do a lot of work in that same space.
Yeah,
So great stuff. So. All right, so let's talk workouts. So you mentioned some crazy stuff there. You got sledgehammers and tires and burpees. I know there's on the menu.
burpees.
So
Yeah,
like,
burpees.
so what does the normal workout look like? What's that kind of routine going?
The thing is, there's not a normal workout, which is what I love about this group is I am the leader of my group, but each week everybody who's in my tribe has ownership of the group. So last week, my buddy Gator he led the workout. So I should go back to. We also give call signs like in the military. After you come a couple weeks, you get a call sign. My call sign's on my shirt. It's Sensei because low hanging fruit. I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher, and what I did in church was teach in small groups. So they gave me Sensei. My buddy Gator's a Florida Gators fan, but the workouts, whatever you want to do, you can. It varies from guy to guy. The goal of when you create a workout is think of what would make you tired, add one more level. And as we're doing it, the goal is not to murder everybody in the group and have them do 7,000 burpees. Because we sort of have some right where like my buddy just like they have like a sort of a review of the rules of so that we can be uniform
Sure.
to a point. So if you go from here, I had a buddy who went to Michigan. He was visiting Michigan, so he went to the tribe up there, so that we know that we're all doing similar things. The workouts can be whatever, but it's not like 30 minutes of yoga. It's not 30 minutes of burpees. It's not 30 minutes.
Thank God.
Yeah, that'd be great. I would. I used to. I know. I never did a burpee until Men's Alliance. To be honest, that's the funny thing. I figured that out this week. It's not 30 minutes of running. It's something to just test and push you. So generally people do some like CrossFit kind of thing.
Sure.
So like 45 seconds of something. It could be like when we started, we didn't have anything. So we had like cinder blocks. So like 45 seconds of lifting the cinder blocks, 15 seconds to take rest, go to the next station. Some guys like I've gotten into where I enjoy just continually moving. So it might be that we'll sit there do like what I did yesterday at home was I would do like a 20 reps of like push-ups, crunches, hitting the sledgehammer and battle ropes, and then I would
Nice.
like run a lap around my house and just do that until the time's up. So it varies guys to guys. One guy loves to do what's called a closer. So if you remember that Moby song, the Sally up to Sally down, it's the worst workout you've ever done. If you ever want to die, every time he says you're just like you're like in a plank and you're up, your arms are up for Sally up and
Yep.
down for Sally down, but you're not touching the ground. And you see how long you can make, and you think it's the song's 3 minutes long. It's the worst 3 minutes of your entire life, and the longest I've made is like a minute and a half. Then I like fall over
Yeah.
sweating and die. I'm like, hey. But different. But it varies week to week. But the idea is more to push yourselves, and we have like sort of set in like ideal rules within it. Like rule one of Men's Alliance is don't die,
It's
and
a good
rule
rule. Good
11
rule.
is modify as needed. A group down in Richmond had a guy who is blind lead their workout last week.
Very cool. Love it. I
Guys in
absolutely love
wheelchairs
it.
can come. Like it's not, and that's what I love. Like the picture of my group. My group is called Spartan Bravo. The picture on there, we have a dude that's jacked. We got a dude that's overweight, and he joined our group because we had just had a conversation. Like, yeah, how do you start working out? I'm like, hey, dude, guess what? We have everybody in between. I got a kid that I taught actually. He's 20 years old. He has dwarfism. He's coming out to group, and that dude, you want to watch somebody bear crawl like a monster? Like he is crazy. Like he's like he's like, I can't do some of the running because he's working on some spinal things.
Mm.
But watching him bear crawl, he can bear crawl faster than I can run. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
But he's amazing. But but seeing that we have guys of all shapes and sizes and life things, and that's sort of the goal is once we get guys past the workout is what scares the crap out of church guys. They're like, dude, I'm out of shape. The pastor's looking at me like I'm out of shape. Dude's in better shape than me.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, you're in better shape than me. And I finally, 2 years later, he's coming to an event we're going to have in a few weeks. So I've been like, sweet. So I want to be like, hey, I'm excited for that. But yeah, it really, it's open, but it's something to push you and to get you that ready for the devotion.
Yeah, I love it. And you hit on one of the next questions I was going to have is about do you have to be the gym rat like you were saying to be able to come in? And you covered it like you've got people of all different shapes and sizes, and then you also have people with some challenges that they've got to overcome, whether it be like medical issues or maybe they're just a little, they like the sweets a little more like I do. So you gotta bring everyone to the table. But that's nice is that you bring them all around the campfire, so to speak, and you're able to do it all together. So, and of course, you can modify as needed. So, I think that's probably one of the worst things when it comes to like starting workout regimens, right? Is like it's the dread over anything.
Mhm.
The exercise is usually not that hard. The effort is not that hard, and it's more like I just don't want to get there. And it's more like once you get over that hurdle, I'm sure like the first exercise, they're like, it was horrible, but I loved it, and I'm going to come back. And so it's always getting people that first time. So
I yelled around like, "Please." Like for the first little while, I was like, dude, these are terrible. And now I'm like, okay, cool. Like I don't do a ton of burpees on my own, but when I'm there, it's just fun. Like this week, we're recording this prior to my birthday, so I always try to do like the workout prior to my birthday. So I'm gonna think of something related. So sometimes we'll do numbers related since our memory verse is 27:17. So my one buddy created a workout where you'd run to one side, do 27 to something. You'd run to the other
mm,
side, do 17 to the other one. And sometimes we have them related. So I'm trying to figure out how to relate it to um, a birthday from the 70s. So it's gonna maybe you gotta do 70.
oh my God, 70
That'd
burpees.
be
You heard
dead.
it here first.
Yeah, 70 burpees. Everybody's dead. That wouldn't work either. So you wanna also think of your group, but you don't want to make it too easy because then you're not pushing people, and just have fun while doing it.
Yeah, and I think sorry, I'm trying to fight a yawn.
Oh yeah.
There it goes. Um, so going to kind of like going, just thinking as you were talking about like everyone would be like just wiped out if they got to a certain point, right? And so I think that's an interesting thing to think about is getting people to that first time, right? It's like there's this invisible wall of I don't know what's going to happen. Physical workout might kind of suck, but then also the freedom that comes from knowing that like once you've done it, um, you're exhausted. Hopefully, if you've done it right, you're kind of exhausted, right? And so your barriers have come down to where all the pre-developed ideas that you might have of what you're in store for, it's gone because you've already gone through this as a group, as a team, almost like high school sports, right? Like you've gone through this together, and like your barriers have come down to where maybe you can have a deeper level conversation that you wouldn't have because you're not thinking as much. Like you don't have the thought of, maybe I should hold back or someone's going to be, jealous or nervous or what I'm about to say or whatever. So like it's an interesting concept to like, I didn't think about till just now of like how open you're probably willing to be knowing that you've just bonded over literal sweat and like picking up tires and kind of stuff. So
No, it's very intentional in that, and it's yeah, like right now we're in the summer where you see us all stand up. We have benches, like part of the men's lines is like, hey, have a bench building thing with your group. I came in as a second group, so our benches were built. It was great, but you'll see like butt stains all across the benches. But we meet at 6:30 at night, and 6:30 at night in Virginia in January is dark. So we have lights we got to set up. We did a workout in January when it was 7 degrees where
ouch.
well my buddy we knew that some people weren't going to come. You just got to figure it's life. Like for me it's a challenge. The way my brain works is if I say I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. And I tell guys, I said, hey, if you can't be there, your number one mission field is your family. If you're doing something with your family, like yesterday, we've been trying to have this conversation for days, but you've been doing stuff with your kid. That's more important than an interview with me. I said last night I couldn't do the interview with you. I'm doing stuff with my family. That's where our number one foundation. That's something built into Men's Alliance as well. Is the mission is, becoming better husbands, fathers, and men that God created us to be in that order. So like I gotta love my wife to show my kids. And if you don't have one of those three things, you just sort of build from wherever you are. So if you don't have a wife or kids, then the man that God created you. If you don't have a wife, the kid, so I've got guys on all three of those spectrums, but it's taking it and building it from there, which you see the change. I got a guy I used to work with, and he used to just stand there, just like he would get in a room and just stand in the back and have no confidence talking to people. It's been a year in. He's like walking in a room, strutting, and it's like I'm getting goosebumps. Like the difference. Like his wife is like, you are a different person, and it really is just because of creating the camaraderie, seeing that he has value. Like he had just a lot of just terrible things going on. It's his story. I'm not gonna tell much of his story, but it's and a year in, he's finally like he's has social anxiety. He's going to give his first devotion at the end of this month,
There you
and
go.
I made sure to go the first time again. I'm so mad that I can't make it to his. I was like, dude, yeah, I can't make it his devotion because I'll be at my number one mission field with my son. Where with it's my mother-in-law's birthday, so we're at her house for the weekend. But my son's also he started with my brother-in-law doing a mutter, so I'm gonna do my son. So number one mission field, and my buddy's cool with that. I said, hey, I want to hear about it and tell me about it, whatnot. So I've been encouraging him, but just men growing is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's good to see. And we need more of it these days, especially with all the chaos and turmoil. Like, there's a lot of crazy stuff in the world, not to get political or anything like that, but it's like all the advice I try and give people, if anyone actually wants to like listen to my advice, is like when all that stuff's going on, like don't worry about it. Like go back to foundational roots of what do you believe in, what motivates you, what takes care of you and your family, and then stick with that. Start there, and if you get to all the other stuff again, okay. But start with at home and start fixing the home and but make sure that everybody there is well rounded and taken care of and all that stuff, and then worry about the other stuff you see on the news,
Yeah.
because if you don't
Definitely.
take care of that, no one else is going to. So you have to.
Yeah.
So I love it.
And and um, one of the things that initially when I started, I was like, this group is called Men's Alliance. It sounds like a Southern men's cult or something. Like the name, I was like, man, sometimes for some people that's a barrier. And the funny thing I found out about it was the name was created by Dave's wife. He was
Really
like, "What do I want to call this?" And she's like, "Well," so she creates it for me. It was like, okay, cool. Like, so once you tell guys what's going on, you're like, Men's Alliance. It's it sounds like men rallying together to like take over the world. Where it's just men getting together, and she came up with it. And like I know Carrie, I talked to her and email through stuff. She like helps with some of the background stuff for Men's Alliance. Some of the the stuff that women are better at that we're not. But she's spectacular. Like two of the guys that work there, their wives now are part of like helping with the merch and helping with some of the background stuff. But yeah, it was cool to see that it has that family connection that she came up with the name for it, and they just recently started like because men, we don't talk a lot. So they actually are reaching out to the wives of Men's Alliance, and they're sending them information like, here's what we're doing, here's what the men are doing, sort of like as we're going through it. And we make it fun too. And that, I said the sensei thing. After you come for 3 weeks, you get like a call sign. And so I got a buddy who came this week, and he loves Star Wars, and he has a business that makes like gummy bears.
oh
So his,
nice,
his call sign is Chewy. So we put them
nice.
both together. And then after you've come in, it's like your way of saying, hey, cool, I want to hang out with you guys. Now it's like, I want to be devoted to this tribe. So you start a fire, one of the campfires for the week. You lead a devotion, and you lead a workout, and then we have a creed, which is like basically all the creeds, like Boy Scouts, military, all these crazy creeds in the world put together and Jesus up is the way I say it. It's the best way I can say it. It's on our
Hmm.
website. But you say that on top of the tire, and you get a challenge coin, kind of like in the military or thing. So the
Oh
challenge
yeah,
coin's an arrowhead. Mine's on my wall. I don't know if it wouldn't even probably show up on here, but it's an arrowhead. This is isolationist terminal. and then it has the little fire you see in the logo behind me on it, and 2717. But it's used like a regular challenge coin, but because we do have guys struggling, some guys will do it. They might get a beer. Like we're not against alcohol. Like guys we'll meet at a brewery or whatnot. But we also in leadership say we're not getting hammered,
Right. Yeah.
which Paul states biblically whatnot. But instead, some guys who even have that challenge said, let's make it burpees. So if you don't have your,
Yeah.
so it's adapted to that. So if you don't have your coin, you do 10 burpees, which a dude got us sneaky, and we were at a swimming water thing the other week, and this guy walked out in his jeans, pulled out his coin. Mine's in my car. Everybody's in their car because we're wearing swimming trunks.
Right.
So because we're fun like dudes, we did 10 burpees. And
There
then
you
after
go.
that, the last level is called patch class. So I have like a little patch with Men's Alliance. It's a apologetics, which I didn't know what that meant before. It is from a Greek word apologeos. I always say it wrong, but it means being able to explain your faith. Not if I walked up to you and said, you shouldn't do that because the Bible says so. Well, don't ever say you shouldn't do that to anybody because they won't pay attention anyway. This is what we
Right.
should do because the Bible says so. Well, if you don't believe the Bible exists, you're gonna be like, okay, cool, Bible's fake. I don't need to. Then it doesn't
Right.
matter. So it's taking it from a foundational, like learning the history of the world and how we can have a conversation, and that's really the core crux of the ministry. Is it's 9 week Zoom course. I'm getting ready to lead a group of guys through it. Like guys will come in and have a conversation, and then it's a 3 day FTX out in the woods, and where you camp out, you do like leadership activities. So you're tired, and you're being able to talk your faith, like to be able to explain
Uh,
like how can you prove that there. I mean, every faith believes there's nobody, as far as I know, unless they're trying to be crazy, believes that Jesus was a real person.
yeah. I don't think I've ever heard that's been. I don't think that's ever.
It's not
Yeah.
debated, and that's the foundation. So if you go from where Jesus is a real person and build out from there. So like, I have friends that are Jewish that believe Jesus is a real person. Atheists
Right.
go, Jesus is a real person. And all those other faiths. So it's a matter of getting from that point to the next point and having guys understand. Like I know guys that have never read the Bible but can explain who Jesus is, and now they're growing to want to do the next part. So that's sort of the three levels we go through, which helping men to understand. So if you don't understand your faith, then your faith is empty. So regardless of what you believe, whether it's Hindu, Buddhism, Muslim, anything all the way through, if you just say that's because Allah said so, because Buddha said so, well, that's me like saying, the force is with you. That's what we should believe because, Luke Skywalker said so. So it's foundational historical backgrounds as to sort of giving proof, since it's that was the coolest part, and my son is loving that as he can join. It's ages 13 to dead is the way I say it, and my son turns 13 in May, and he's super excited for it.
That's cool, and I like that you're taking that approach because, like you said, if you come at it from like an argumentative point or like directive of this is wrong and here's why, but you don't necessarily have that relationship with the person to understand what their belief system is, like you're just going to get dismissed. And so you're approaching it completely different, where you're starting from what is real and living in reality. And I think that's a great place to start. And that's usually what I tell people when I try and solve more work problems than anything else. But I try and live in the observable, and I start with that and start to solve the problems in the real world, and then kind of translate that to whatever I'm doing for work. So I
Yeah,
totally get the concept. So.
yeah, and it's. I've learned more in and of that per se. Like one guy wrote a book. His name's Greg Coco, and he called it the Columbo method. It's like how Columbo, you know who did it, but it's sort of working back. But he doesn't go. He had a gun. He asked questions. So
Hmm.
instead of Christians are too busy fighting themselves. Like most of the problems I've ever had in Christianity is from within the church. Most people outside, they don't really care. Like, hey, we don't agree with you. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Here, but it's about asking questions. And sometimes you might ask a question to someone, and they're not gonna have it at all. And I always tell guys, I'm like, hey, if you're having a conversation with someone and they're like, you go into someone, hey, if I could convince you that Jesus was a real person and he was God, would you join me at church and start believing? No. Okay, cool. How about my fantasy football team? You don't talk about fantasy football, but it's called, but you don't give up, but you don't push it. It's
Right.
called putting a pebble in someone's shoe. Like right now, someone might go, I'm not into all this church stuff, but I like how he's creating community. I
Yeah.
know guys that have come in. I had a guy come to my small group of circle years ago. He's like, I don't even know if there is a God. And that was a handful of years ago. And a year, 2 years ago, I watched him get baptized. So
Oh, wow.
sometimes you're not going to see anything. You might never see anything. Some people, their hearts aren't where they are. They think I'm full of baloney. And that's where people's hearts are. But if you try to push it, you're going to push them farther. But if you just put like a pebble in your shoe, is a saying that Greg Kokel says, like a pebble in your shoe, it kind of annoys you, but it keeps you thinking. Like
Yeah,
it's there, it's in your shoe, and you're like, oh man, but it reminds you what was said as you're going through it.
I like it. And if anybody knows you, you're not full of baloney. We're full of cheeseburgers, man,
Right
and
now, I'm full of
cake.
cake. Cake. I'm getting my like. If you sign up for everything online, you got all these birthday things. So nothing bunt cakes gave me a free buntlet. My wife made a cake because her deceased grandma's birthday in honor of her. So I've got like cake everywhere. It's been an amazing week. That's why I
Yeah,
wear my weighted vest as a sadistic torture.
nice. Hey, got to balance it out, right? Got to
Yeah,
square it out. So, yeah, I just had my birthday a couple last week. I don't know. Time's gone.
it was
So,
sick day.
yeah, I was sick. Yeah. God, it's been a long
Robitussin and
It's been a long
Tylenol.
couple weeks, but yeah, I know how that goes. You get your free birthday things, and some of it it's like the day, some of it's the week. So you start to like map it out where I could go, and then your
Oh
doctor
yeah.
said, "Yeah, by the way, don't do that." So
Well, I went to the doctor in May, so I've got I've got 10 months till I go back to. I'll be doing enough men's line stuff. I'll be okay.
yeah, that's cool. Awesome. So let's say if I wanted to join a tribe, so let's say I know you're in the Virginia area, so let's say I'm out in Chicago. Where can I go to join a tribe? How does that work? How do I approach that group?
Two ways. You go to men'salliancetribe.com. So men'salliancetribe.com. If you ever hit it, guys, you'll see me popping up anywhere on these podcasts. You can ask me. Men'salliancetribe.com. You go in there and you can type in your zip code, and it will show you the nearest tribe to you. And I believe there's some popping up actually out there. But I think we in. I saw a map recently, and the only states we're really not in yet are the ones that are giant cornfields. It seems like it's funny, like the Bible Belt, but where there's no, you can't get people because they live 20 miles from each other. So I mean, we're growing everywhere. We're just booming up in California, which we're booming up in like New
Wow.
York, like along these, like it's all around the country growing. And then at that point, if you're like, hey, I can't find anything, then you can be like, hey, I want to start a tribe. And you find like you don't even need a church. You can be like, hey, I know some people that started in their backyard to get four buddies together. I mean, where two or three are gathered, it's the idea. Like our church is a quasi mega church, I guess. So we have three groups, and one group, the group that's meeting as we're recording right now, has like 20 guys that come. My group has about
Wow.
10 to 15. Another group just started recently, and they're getting about 6 to 8 because they're just starting. So we have a lot of human, but some groups are four because their churches are smaller or their location is smaller. Like I know a guy in the middle of nowhere, Virginia. There's four dudes. They're all like dance dads together. Their daughters are dancers. So that's sort of how they connected, but they meet at his farm in the middle of nowhere. They're probably not going to get 20 people because
Yeah.
so
Geographics.
you can start one yourself if you're looking just for a foundational way to get started and you want to hear like what we're about. There is a podcast, Men's Alliance podcast, and and I know a guy in California who literally listened to a podcast for 2 years, and he came to a father son thing we did last year, and he started a tribe just recently. But the podcast is the Men's Alliance podcast. It's on. They're trying to push it. If you want to help out the group, go to YouTube and push subscribe. That helps to get the flow out. I don't watch podcasts on YouTube because I'm driving. It's not safe. So I listen to Spotify. It's wherever you can, and then they're on all the socials as well. Like from Central, they send out stuff and whatnot. But yeah, men'salliancetribe.com links you to everything, or just look it up on the podcast. It's all there.
Okay. Yeah, I live on like where I'm at right now is like I grew up here. So it's like if I go a block west, it's cornfields as far as you can see.
Oh,
If I
nice.
go a block east, it's suburbs all the way to the city. So it's like right on the edge of all of that. So
You
it's
take the suburbs right to the edge of those cornfields, and you got some space. And some guys are like, the fire used to be like the stopping point. You gotta have a fire. And then one group, and then he's like, well, as the in charge, he gets to make. If you start it, you got to have everybody involved, which he's really good about that. One group started in downtown Richmond, right outside of a business. Well, you can't really have a fire in the
yeah,
middle
it's
of Richmond, so they started without it. The prison ministries. We have one in a youth prison, a juvie hall, and one in an adult prison. Obviously, you're not going to be able to start fires. And the sheriff did say he did give him permission at one point. He's like, "Well, if you want to bring in a sledgehammer," and they were like, "Yeah, no."
yeah.
we decided on our sides. Like I think we got tires and some more body weight, but you can, but it's just the goal is just to reach as many men. And I had a group recently who had to fold just because leadership or guys or sometimes it happens. But it's been cool seeing it was at a Marine base, And one of the pushes of the Marines recently is helping the the guys in the Marines find spirituality.
Hmm.
And because we made connections sort of with the chaplain through my sister-in-law, and like that's a general push. That way, they have that sort of hope, I guess, is the best way to say it. So but yeah, it's interesting to see that that's going through, and they're not saying like it's not saying, hey, the Marines aren't pushing one because that would get them in trouble with the government. But this was the chaplain, so we pretty much agree on stuff. But that's been a focus of them to help the guys that are serving. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So it might be a
Yeah.
opening there.
It's an interesting parallel, and it's actually come up a couple times in the interviews this year. Is mental health advocacy,
Mm-hmm.
and you'd mentioned suicide rates being prime group is men. I forget the ages. There's
Like 20s and
30.
40s, yeah.
Yeah,
Basically our age. It's
which our age, and then it's
yeah.
also the age that most men are getting out of the military. So
Mm-hmm.
there's
100%.
unfortunately a huge military statistic that's 22 suicides a day for veterans, which is just astronomically too high.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing, and I went through that same experience myself of like you get out and you've had this group, this core tribe, if you will, for so long in different locations and different people, sure, but you've had this thing for so long, and then you literally just walk to the other side of the street one day and it's just over. And it's like that's very isolating. It's like how do you navigate that? So I think that's, hugely resonating with folks in that community as well. So I think it's work that needs to be done, and there's more that needs to be done for all of it, for not just vets, but for everyone. So,
Yeah, it really connects with ex-military guys too. I know it's a lot like one of my buddies in there. He's old. He's ex-Delta Force, so he's
guys are nuts.
he's nuts. He's an awesome dude. But it's cool like seeing like a family in my church started a home for vets that are having challenges coming out. Like they go for like a week retreat. These people were loaded, so they bought this whole like house and like farm area, and people come in for like a week, and it's cool to see the support that our country's finally giving to vets.
Yeah,
And if we can provide something small here on this scale, it might lead them to find that couple that is so blessed that they can do something like that. Because I think it's a travesty that not only do you serve our country for less than people make to greet at Walmart and risk your life versus checking receipts, but then afterwards it's like, okay, cool, thanks, peace, And I know there's stuff in there, but we're missing a lot of stuff within that, and it's
yeah, and people have made efforts to fix some of that stuff. Some of it's been good, some of it just completely misses. It's just people keep trying different things, so it's just we've got to figure out a better way to do that for vets. And like you said, you're not making the $15 at Walmart working as an E1, so it's not great. And probably a topic for another day kind of thing. But I thought I was like the most prepared thing in the world. I'm very much a planner. I'm a project manager by trade, airport manager now. So like well, I was before too, but it's like planning is in my nature and that kind of side. So I was like, okay, I've got to have these things in order. I've got to have my resume and my cover letters and know where I'm going to go and do all this stuff. And then it's just over. Like I'm like, okay, it's going to be a big day. I'm getting out and there's going to be a whole thing I've got to get done. And they're like, okay, give me your folder. That's it. And you're like,
yeah.
where do I go? They're like, you can go wherever you want. What do you mean?
Yeah,
So
well, Walmart pays better. Okay, cool.
I guess, yeah. And so I literally went home
Chick-fil-A.
and I just kind of sat there and I was like, well, like, what do I do? And so, yeah, I completely get like it being isolating experience for a lot of people in a lot of different ways. So it's good stuff. Well, that's not good stuff. Fixing it is the good stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you. We're on the same train of thought here. Yeah, it's getting to where we gotta support men, and they're and not ignore it. I think that's with men a lot of times, and me still. I'm still like still in this. I'm still a hot mess, and all kinds of days. But we still isolate ourselves. We're not gonna come out and say, hey, something's wrong, something's going on. Like, usually the guy that the days when I'm the most off is when people are like, "Oh, Adam, he's up," da da da, because I'm a theater teacher for a little kid, so I'm always. But I might be having the worst day ever, and I got to fake it, and I'm just feeling terrible. But it's because we're not going to come out and say, "Hey, things aren't good,"
Yeah.
and that's what.
I'm gonna clip that by the way, but
That's gonna be a great a Tuesday night show coming up. But that's what the Devo does too. Like I've seen guys like just break down and cry.
yeah.
and just in a circle of men. And that's not something dudes do. Like we see guys now, like we'll come up, you see these guys, we see each other, we give each other hugs. I've got, when I did my patch class, it's not just, it was me and another buddy from my church, but 10 other guys. Well, actually 20, well, a bunch of other guys from other states. Like one of my patch brothers is from Minnesota. But one of my favorite guys is from Pennsylvania. And whenever we see each other, we were only together for like a day and a half of our life, about 2 days max. But it's like we were never broken. Like the bond that's created within, like just doing these silly little things we did in the woods, in the dark, camping out, talk. It's a bond that's created within men that you don't see men generally walk into a room, hug each other. My buddy Gage from PA, when I see him, he's like, I'm 5'5", he's like 6'2", 6'3", he's ginormously tall. I run across the room and I jump up and I jump on. And one time I missed it.
Oh no.
Because I'm that, see, I didn't work out. So I went back and I did it again, and I'm like, you got to do that again. but it's cool seeing like guys that will greet each other with a hug, that won't be like, yo, what's up, or just sort of walk up. And that's the kind of brotherhood that we're creating, not just in our church, but when I go places. Like I'll go in October to a place, I know a ton of guys like, what's up, brother? What's up? We'll catch up, but it's like we're never apart, which is really cool about this, going from 6 to 302 as of this recording. I was on the website. They gave me too many powers. I can look in the
Oh
back.
boy.
I can look on the website and be like, "Whoa, look at that! That's really cool." Don't know how to do much more than that, but it's pretty gnarly.
Cool. Well, I think that's a great way to end it, and I'm really excited that you were able to bring that to the group for Fantasy Turf War, and hopefully we can get some more eyeballs. I'll definitely go check out the YouTube channel, and I'll subscribe. I'm about to this weekend. I'm going to purge, or not purge. I'm going to download a massive amount of stuff to listen to while I'm gone, so that I can keep up with content and kind of keep myself entertained. So I will be downloading some of that as well. So I like inspirational stuff like that, and so you just gave me a whole like realm of things I can dive into now.
Yeah,
So
and they're different kinds of podcasts too. A lot of them are like interviews with guys around the world. Like one of the best ones, if you go back, he has he's willing to have anybody in. He had a conversation with a dude who's like a staunch atheist, and it was a respect. Like I'm sitting there, like as a Christian, like, oh my goodness, how I don't know what I would. I've done all, I've been helping lead apology stuff for a year and a half now, and I'm just like, but he just is civil. They have great conversation. The guys really, it was really cool to see. So there's like different. It's some where it's just talking with a pastor, others where it's talking with some dude who's just rough life has happened, and
good
it's
stuff.
great, good stuff.
And I love watching the debates between not argumentative debates, like
Sure.
actual normal debates where you actually like bring your facts, they bring their facts, you compare and kind of just work through those things. I love watching those kinds of shows because it's like the steel man of both arguments, and you're actually trying to get to the bottom of things. So
Look up
the
Frank Turek for that one.
Frank Turek.
Turek. Frank Turek. I met him. He's like the apologetics train. He's one of the core books that it was sort of based upon. But
Okay.
yeah, he does. He came in. I heard him speak. Like he'll have a conversation with. He's had it with like one of the biggest national guys. His name Bart Ehrman. He's a atheist who teaches theology in college, which is kind of a good.
Interesting.
But they had some debates and stuff, and there's some cool stuff out there. It's, yeah, I enjoy that as well.
Okay, I'll check that out as well. So, yeah. All right. So normally, if this were a new team or a returning team, we would have some follow-up questions to keep with tradition, but we've already covered them because we've got your superpower and we've got your um,
Well,
wrestling walkout song.
we
So,
never came up with one. I thought of it afterwards.
all right, what you got?
It was going to be One Step Closer by Linkin Park is what came to me afterwards. I was like, if you go, everybody go listen to the Couriers episode. It's a great episode, great podcast. Go listen to them. But yeah, we couldn't think of anything. And Jason was like, I wanted the silence. I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want to get booed. But yeah, I was like, there's so many songs. And I just thought of wrestling theme songs. And other song, but it popped on the radio. I was like, because it's got like that slow entrance. You need something that's sort of like a slow and then bam.
Yeah.
And then that hit me. I was like, oh, cool. And that came out when I was in school. I mean, that song's old now.
Yeah,
It's
don't
like
tell me. I
25
just
years old.
found out Hannah Montana is turning like 20 years old. Like the show
TV
itself
show.
is 20 years old. And I was like, oh my God. Oh, like it hurts. But
I learned something that Hannah Montana doesn't have, but I can't say it. It'll spoil an answer for our. Oh, it'll come afterwards. Hannah Montana doesn't have psychic powers.
yeah. She does not.
This will air
So
afterwards.
oh, That Disney quiz. People seem to like it though. The civics one is always a gripe because you got people with like American history and stuff, and it's kind of brutal. The Disney one seems to be at least fun. Whether you've connected from the parks or the movies or whatever it may be, most people have gotten a pretty good way through it. So I
The
think
NASCAR one was really easy. We just didn't know
yeah.
who the dude was. We just sort of waited.
And NASCAR, as much as I don't know a darn thing about NASCAR, it's a hit. Like people are like, saying like, hey, or I'll talk to them and be like, hey, just want to make sure you got your draft order based on the NASCAR. They're like, yeah, I was watching and then I was doing my laundry and he was in last place. And then I came back from putting my laundry away and he's in second. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. Like if you love it, man, like let's keep doing it. And that happened last year and it happened again this year. So it's like, man, if people love it, we'll do it.
One year's just racing an F1 group, a NASCAR group, a Kentucky Derby group.
And I thought it would have been one of the not liked ones because it's passive, right? That you have
Yeah.
you have no say in how that goes unless do something you're probably not supposed to be doing in a NASCAR race. But I was like, people would probably want to be more engaged, like content wise, it'd be cool. I'm like, but you'd want to like to be able to control your own fate, kind of thing. And no, it seems to keep being a big hit, so we'll keep doing it. But that and Twisted Tetris. Twisted Tetris seems to be a big hit too. So like you didn't
Sure
do the
does, yeah.
Twisted Tetris, so it gets nuts. People's people last like 2 minutes, people last a half hour, and it's pretty crazy.
An
So
hour. Wow. Like I can play. My wife and I would play Tetris together in our younger days on the Xbox. She is terrible at Tetris, and my brain thinks in Tetris. Like I can stack. Like as soon as I got to pack up like a car, it's like do 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 do, do, and I'm moving things around. So in the game when I would play her, the goal was to see how far I could get before she would die.
uh,
Because it was versus. So as soon as she died, I won. So I'd have to. I wasn't even worried. I was like, oh gosh, she's almost dead. And then I would keep running down rows, and I would go, and that was more of the challenge within it because it was never us versus each other. Because my brain thinks in Tetris, hers is like throw it in the box, and that's just our stacking methods. It's kind of funny watching us play and retro. So we need to do that again.
yeah, it'll be a good one to put together. Yeah, I think the longest someone went was like it was over 30 minutes, and they got
Ooh,
to like question 190 something, something like that. So,
you had that
but
many questions?
yeah,
Was it Trivial Pursuit box?
I told him afterwards, like I was getting worried because I was about to run out of questions. I was within like 50 questions of being done, and I was like, I went and added 100 extra questions afterwards just in case someone got that far. But luckily, no one has. So, but it's good. It's a fun one for sure. I just made it up one night, so it's cool. Well, Adam, if you don't mind again, where can we find Men's Alliance just for the people who are might have forgotten to write it down?
men'salliancetribe.com. men'salliancetribe.com. If you do a
Very
web
cool.
search, it should pop up.
Sounds good. Well, it's always a pleasure talking to you. It's two friends sitting down talking different things all the time, but I love it always, and excited to have you on our Tuesday show with our full slot of hosts now. So,
Yeah.
and two of you are in the same division, so that'll be fun, you and Susan. So, best of luck to both of you. I'm not getting in the middle of that fight. You guys have at it. So,
I can't say anything till after the draft. I go, oh, okay, I blew it. Or, okay, now let's see what happens. Or week 2 and everybody's hurt.
yep. Damn it, Christian McCaffrey.
Not yet.
Not yet.
It's
Not
every
yet.
other year. I said this is the year.
Or
It's
who
just
got someone just got hurt, didn't they? One of the
the,
quarterbacks. It wasn't Tua.
well, every Browns quarterback is hurt in some way, shape, or another, except for Flacco.
Yikes.
Anthony Richardson dislocated his pinky.
That's what it was.
The Chargers, though, they lost their left tackle. That's bigger. People miss those. The Chargers left tackle is like a top tier guy. So those running backs for the Chargers and Herbert, the new guy could step in, but that's what a lot of people like. I used to miss that, and now I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. As a Raiders fan, I'm good with that. Like not for the guy, of course you want to wish him well and all that, but
But you
as a
want him to
team,
be twice as strong.
yeah.
I mean, don't worry. The Chargers will be better than the Raiders as
Whoa.
well. I mean, the Raiders, I mean, if you got number 8 this year, so I mean, you could set a goal of like 5 or 4. That'll get you that quarterback next year. I mean, you do have Geno Smith. I mean, we've had this conversation. We're
Oh my
moving.
God. Yeah. He looked okay in the preseason game. We'll see. We'll see. As long as it's like defined at least. The problem last year is they couldn't pick one. This year they at least have a guy that they're putting up as the number one. So
And
like we'll
Carroll loves him.
see how it goes. But all right, man. It's been awesome. We'll talk to you soon. Alrighty, have a good one. Bye. You just bulk up your shoulders? So you trying to bow up on us now?